Not every day you will feel like getting up and running, but just to be able to do it even if you don't like is such an important aspect of training and practicing regularly, and that applies to your work life as well.
Hi, welcome to Beyond the Field, a show where I take you off the sports field and into your favorite teams and events. I'm your host Nadeem, and I will be talking to industry professionals like me and provide you guys a 360-degree view of the thriving sports industry of India. Today, I have with me Mr. Jitendra Joshi, a sports entrepreneur and a triathlete with over 25 years of experience working in the sports industry. He's worked across companies like Sportz Village, SportzConsult, Corcom, and working on few more ideas. His contribution at SportzConsult earned him the prestigious PRCI's Entrepreneur of the Year award in the year 2017. Welcome, Jitu sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Sir, we want you to start off with giving your background, educational as well as your professional background.
Well, education-wise, I completed my electrical engineering from Sardar Patel College of Engineering in Mumbai. Thereafter, worked for a couple of years and then went on to do my MBA at Clemson University in the US. After that, I worked with a few companies. Started with HCL HP after my engineering. After MBA, started worked with KPMG Consulting for almost 5 years. That was in the US, and then the whole entrepreneurial bug caught me on, and I came back to India in 2003.
Okay. And what was your first role or job in the sports industry, and how did you get it?
My first role was the company I started. So it was I jumped into sports with my company. The first role was actually as a founder CEO, it was everything, from office boy to the director of the company. But the first uh, role was setting up the whole sports village in Bangalore, where we got kids to come and play at the ground, which we had about 1 acre ground, where we also played a role of a coach there for a few days when there was a gap. But that's the way it was. And then for some reason, personal reasons, I had to come to Mumbai, where we started doing sporting events. And the first event that we did was the corporate cricket. So my first role as such was setting up the sports village in Bangalore, and within a year starting sports events in Mumbai.
What year was that?
That was in 2003.
2003. And this is where Sports Consult came in?
Yes, SportzConsult. We after a couple of years we had two different businesses. One was working with schools, which we called Edu Sports, and one was working with sporting events, working with marketing, marketing in various organizations, doing corporate sports, creating sporting events. That's where the entire sports marketing bit, we started calling it as SportzConsult. So we created two companies at that point. That was in year 2008 when we started the SportzConsult bit.
And how's your journey been with Sports Consult? You started back, I think, in around 2005. And how's the journey been up till now, or your background with it?
Well, it's been an exciting journey, to say the least. We had a vision of getting kids to play, creating great sports experiences, to creating, the product itself, the whole journey at the start of the building the company. You are trying multiple different things. We had one idea, but as we progressed, we found that it didn't get enough traction. Then we had to pivot, and we pivoted probably 5 6 times before we eventually got something which market was accepting. So we finally got the product market fit into different spaces. One was where we were with the edu sports, where we were getting kids to play in schools, creating our own curriculum in that path. And the other path was around getting corporate money, which was the marketing money, marketing budgets, and creating the entire sporting events for schools and colleges, and reaching out to that target group, which was very attractive to a lot of brands. So that was the second part. Then as we started growing with events, we started working with federations, we started working with government, and created a specific niche around creating large scale sporting events. So, and then the entire journey of like any entrepreneur struggling to meet the cash flows, struggling to meet getting the right team, getting the right customers, keeping the customers. That entire journey was, it was ups and downs, lots of ups and downs, but exhilarating ride till now.
SportzConsult has been a pioneer in experiential sports marketing. What were some of the brands that you tapped and how did you execute their events?
Well, some of the, we were, since we were the pioneers in the whole experiential sports marketing bit, we got an opportunity to work with some of the marquee brands like Coca-Cola, Hero MotoCorp, NBA, Reliance Foundation Youth Sports, Tata Tea, DNA, Times of India Group. So these were some of the Nike, Adidas. So we created a lot of sports programs, experiential sports programs for these brands. So when we say experiential meaning, it is connecting with the brand connects with the target group authentically, right? There is so much passion involved, and since the brand gets an opportunity to engage with the customers on ground, it's very authentic. So that's the whole space around the experiential sports marketing, and we were one of the first few companies who were focusing on working with these brands, creating large scale sporting programs to meet their business objectives. It's always started with what is the brand trying to do, what is the customer trying to do, what are their business objectives, and we created the entire sporting program based on that. What is the target group, what is the brand want to do, is it trying to engage, is it trying to create a particular a brand positioning for themselves. Focusing on these objectives, we built the sports programs. Now, once the brand's objectives are clear, then we go about executing like any operationally any sporting event, reaching out to the target group, be it schools, colleges, corporates, and then the entire event management takes over. So that's how we built the entire space. And since sports by nature is very positive and has positive values, lots of brands were very keen to engage with their consumers using sports as a platform.
Great. You spoke about RFIS. We had Indranil sir in a previous episode, who was the vice president at Reliance Sport, and he led that vertical. And SportzConsult is an organization that executed that event.
Correct.
I wanted to talk about it more because it's a large scale event. And how did you manage and how did you execute? What was the planning like in executing that event?
Well, because we had done large scale programs which involved Coca-Cola and working with All India Football Federation before this, we had reached out with Coca-Cola Cup, which was part of the All India Football Federation's under 15 tournament. We had reached out to more than 86 cities and delivered with about 4,000 schools participating in that. So we took that experience, and when we got in discussion with the Reliance Foundation, we started with 8 cities. We had a very clear age groups that we wanted to target. The Reliance Foundation wanted to target, and then we built the entire program around what are the kind of schools we want to reach out to, what is the scale at which we want to function, what are the kind of availability of the grounds was a big issue when we are doing a large scale sporting events like Reliance Foundation Youth Sports Program. But we were able to secure great venues across all the cities. Schools were very supportive of the program because it gave them a massive platform to showcase their talent. And we also were able to, Reliance Foundation was able to secure a television partner to deliver it. So all in all, it was a fantastic experience for kids to play on such a huge platform and showcase their talent.
Great. Sir, over the course of time, I think when you started, your role was to do everything, as you said, from doing the role of a peon to a CEO. But over the years, I think your role must have evolved. And what were your roles specifically as a CEO of the organization?
Well, obviously, my primary role was to ensure that we had a good team, and as a leader, people, getting the right team in place, creating the right atmosphere in the office was the most important part. And then, obviously, giving the direction because the sports industry itself was evolving. We were in a new space. To be able to be the head of the arrow to see where the opportunities are and what is it that is aligns with the vision of the company. That was the primary role. Then obviously other roles like leading the team, ensuring that they are getting what they want to do to deliver the programs that we are building. Business development was another big role that I played, and these were the two primary roles, business development, managing big clients, and making sure that we have the right team and be able to uh, get the right person for the right job. That was pretty much my role. Apart from this, on the other side, being a startup and initial years where we were not funded, so managing cash flow was one of the biggest tasks. To be able to raise funds, intermittently, to able to manage that cash flow, like any entrepreneur would, go through. I went through that for more than a decade.
And I wanted to touch upon your experience raising funds because recently we've seen, sports company raising funds. We saw Sports Food raise fund. We saw Push Sports raise fund through Shark Tank. And VCs or people who have cash, they are looking at sports as for an investment. And this is the year we are in 24. But back then, how was it raising funds? What year was it, sir? What year around?
To 2015, but
Hmm.
broadly, to talk about what is it that investors look for when raising funds is obviously, if it is, if you're going to a PE firms, then typically they would look at, you whether you have a proven business or not. Do we have the market, product market fit or not? Those are the two key things, to begin with, to be able to show that yes, you have an idea which is been accepted by the market. There is a willingness to pay for your services, and there is a scale. There is the investors would obviously want to invest in a business which has a huge potential, right? So the idea that you're bringing to the market, is there a huge market for it, and your ability to scale, is it scalable business or not? And if you have an idea which can be replicated, that's what the investors love, because then the growth is much faster. you know Investors seek ideas which have a potential to reach to a large market at a fast scale, at a huge scale, and at a faster pace. And these are the things that investors look for. And we had to continuously tweak our business model to ensure that it was investor friendly as well. Obviously you have your own vision with the company, but you also want to make sure that in case you are looking for a large scale business, and you're wanting to attract investors, then you should have the product market fit, and the proven customers, and also ability to scale it. That's what investors would typically look at, and that's what my recommendation to entrepreneurs would be, to be able to look back at the business model to ensure that the product market fit is there, and then your ability to scale.
So all the people out there who are looking for funding, these are the factors that we should consider before reaching out to a VC firm. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about a special event or IP called Mumbai Games. I wanted to touch upon that. What was it, and how did that concept came about?
Well, we found that there are a couple of things. One, we wanted to build a platform which is at the city level, you know, and we found that lot of amateurs want to participate in a good, exciting, uh, sporting competitive events. And so we built a multi-sport event. It has about 12 different sports to start with. Then we scaled it to 16 different sports for all the age groups. The idea was to create an atmosphere of a multi-sport, like a mini Olympics, at the city level. That was the vision. We found that with when you have a aspirational property like a Mumbai Marathon, for example, people participate, people prepare for it, and they have a great time at the marathon. Similar thought, but at a multi-sport for people with different sporting skills, different sporting interests. Amateurs could participate. So that was the vision with which we built Mumbai Games. One of the interesting things that we did with that is to create contingents. Like just like when we were kids, we used to have red, blue, green, yellow house. We brought that concept at the city level, and we created teams like a Navi Mumbai team versus a Thane team versus a South Mumbai team. We divided city into 8 different zones, 8 different teams, and then people would participate for their team as well. It just adds a bit of extra excitement of having participating in your individual event, but you're also contributing towards the points for your zone. There is some kind of affinity towards my ilaka, right? You would say that no, Mumbai is better than South Mumbai. You will have that kind of affinity is there towards your local area, and that's what we capitalized on.
Great. And working across 16 sports, how did you execute? How was the team like, and how did you identify that these are the sports that you want to target and go about it?
Well, having been in the amateur sports part, focusing on grassroots for 12 years by then, we already knew what are the kind of sports people like, what are the kind of sports people want to participate in, what are the sports under which there are coaching system is already present. So that was kind of the starting point for us to select what kind of sports is required. And then we tied up with Maharashtra Olympic Association and the district sports respective district sports association to be able to support us with the entire organizing of the event. Then it was once we announced it, we got more than 12,000 participant registrations, and then we had a very experienced team of delivering this kind of sporting events at the amateur level. We had a massive team. We had over 200 people as a part of our team to deliver Mumbai Games. It was successfully delivered, and people are happy. And due to COVID, we had to stop it, but we are going to restart it again.
And I wanted to let our viewers know that I had this first-hand experience of working on Mumbai Games. So back in 2018, I was passing out of a sports management institute, and I got an internship with SportzConsult. And when I realized that they are working on something like Mumbai Games, so I was thinking, "Ye kaise hoga? These many sports, these many venues, how will they manage? So दिखते क्या होता है?" But then when I worked on it and the entire team and everything was, it was electric. And what I felt the best part about Sports Consult was I think most of the employees were under 30. So the vibe was very fresh, everybody was connected, and there was so much energy to execute that event. We felt like, now it is possible. And I gained a lot of experience working on it. What happens is when you work on events with such a large scale, you understand firstly scale. What is scale? You understand how to execute, what are the elements required to identify, how to close brands, how to get participants. It's like a workshop in itself. And I wanted to thank you and Sports Consult for giving me the opportunity and enhancing my experience working on the games.
Thank you very much. It is like I said, team is everything. Energetic people like you make it possible. Thank you for your contribution.
I still hold that email ID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still hold that email ID. I use it. I use the email ID as well.
Nice.
So fantastic. And I hope that now the COVID is gone, so we are excited if something like that could come up. And it's a really important thing. What happens is, sir, if you look at sporting structure, we have school sports, we have college sports, and then we have corporate level. So there's this major gap that that needs to fill. Like people who are working, they also aspire at some time to participate. And events like this help them satisfy their ability, and it helps them recognize themselves like, yes, I've done something, I can participate, and they work on their passion and gives them a platform to execute. I have seen happy faces, people who are elderly above 50 years of age playing tennis, lawn tennis, and how happy they were after the event, irrespective of whether they won or lost. It's like very happy, and people came up to us and appreciated us on the venue. I was there with Karthik Shetty at the tennis venue at MSLTS. So people came up to him, बहुत अच्छा event था, ऐसा ही करते रहो, अगले साल भी हम खेलेंगे. Yes, yes.
Yeah, people
Fantastic.
inherently want to play,
Yes.
and if there is a large scale, it just adds to the whole fun element of it.
Moving on, sir, from giving events for people to participate, you yourself is a triathlete. How did that come up from transitioning from executing an event to participating in one? How did that came about?
Well, while my professional life is around organizing and managing the sports business side of sports, I have been an athlete all my life. From school days to college days, I've been athlete uh, in both football events and athletic events, and I have been participating in long distance running for quite some time. So endurance sports has been one of the sports since my college days, school days, in fact. And back then it was cross country running, and now I've been participating in marathon for past couple of decades. But this one, when thought of triathlon came, because I wanted to experience how would a life of a professional athlete be. I've been a professional on the business side, but never, and I've seen the professional athletes closely, and I always wonder what it would be like to be a professional athlete. That thought led to signing up for a triathlon. I said, if I were to sign up, if I were to do a Ironman, then it would require me to have a massive transformation from a to almost a professional athlete. You'll have to live like a professional athlete to be able to achieve that. So when I decided to embark upon that journey, so that's when I moved from the thought of doing from marathon to triathlon happens. But there were challenges, and that's exactly what I wanted. I hardly knew swimming. I was tired doing 50 meters of swimming, but the challenge was so exciting. I got a good coach, uh, uh, and who helped me to uh, you know create an entire timeline and the specifics of how to go about it. And the swimming part, I took about 6 months to move from ability to swim 50 meters to ability to easily swim about 2.5 kilometers. So that everyday focus, improving your technique, the consistency with which you had to do. So it was one part. So, but swimming was one of the toughest which bit among all the three sport. But also around the entire three sports, one had to be disciplined to manage your training every day. You can't overdo it. You can't do you can't miss too many days. So you had to plan your day accordingly to be able to ensure that your training is happening as per the plan. So you have to do your visit your gym couple of weeks in a week, couple of times in a week. Make sure your diet is okay. Make sure that your mobility and flexibility is there, and at the same time you're improving your performance in terms of running, cycling, and also swimming, right, which I mentioned. So doing moving from one sport to three sport and adding the entire around it, which is the diet, flexibility, mobility, strength training. It was a fantastic experience. Doing that for almost a year, uh, I gained a huge respect for professional athletes to be able to do that for more than a couple of decades on a daily basis. Hats off to them. But I got a glimpse of it, and it is so addictive that I am hoping to continue it for the rest of my life. It's a process, oriented. Absolutely a process. So day in, day out, you have to follow the timeline. You have to, what you missed upon telling is the rest that you require. Absolutely. Sleep. Yeah, you need to absolutely ensure that recovery is there on a daily basis, and the best recovery mechanism is the sleep part. Sleep. And how did you manage your training along with your professional commitments? I'm sure a busy person like you must be having a very full, busy schedule. How did you manage both of it at the same time? Fortunately, I'm a morning person. So all my life, I've been waking up at 5 o'clock. Now, instead of uh, doing my other hobbies in the morning, I spent dedicated my time doing the triathlon training. So my first 3 hours in a day was were towards training for Ironman, and then rest of the day was either recovering from that or working on my this. Fortunately, my team was very helpful. They were very supportive of the entire process. In fact, they were excited, and that helped me a lot.
And how did your experience working as a triathlete or doing physical or endurance event help you professionally?
Well, it just reinforces some of the things that you need to succeed, in any professional life, right? Your ability to be disciplined, ensure that you learn that with consistency and time, you can learn any skill, and then I was able to give the examples to my team as well, and so that helped me in terms of managing getting new skills myself and to be able to translate that experience to my team, and just the energy levels of training regularly was helpful in being energetic in during the office hours.
Do you think it has enabled you or helped you in your decision making professionally?
Definitely, yes. I mean, there are so many aspects to being an entrepreneur and being, in that role that I was playing, right? And so many things you learn from your sporting journey as well. Decision making, absolutely yes, because you are on a path which getting the right decisions is absolutely critical. And like I said, getting the entire discipline part, the motivation part, learning that you know you not every day you will feel like getting up and running, but just to be able to do it even if you don't like is such an important aspect of training and practicing regularly, and that applies to your work life as well. I might not be in a mood to prepare for a presentation, but you just have to do it. And also an important learning was that the motivation comes when you see micro successes. You will not feel motivated all the time, and your ability to push yourself through even when you don't want to do it, that was an important learning, and that clearly translated to my professional life.
I absolutely agree with you. It is the days where you don't feel good and you go and work out, that are the days that on which you win.
Yes.
Because when you're feeling high and motivated, you anyways will do it.
Yeah.
Like in my case, I also do long distance running. So on Sundays, I used to do long runs. So eventually, I was happy doing that. But it was the days in the week where I had to hit the gym, where I had to do my smaller runs. That was the day, I had to push myself, get out of bed. Even though if I'm not feeling well, still have to do it. But once I'm done with it, it makes me happy, and it translates into the day that I'm working.
Yeah.
It helps me in that. But there are days where I don't work, I feel very, I feel hard on myself. Why did I do it?
Yeah.
And that translates into my professional life. The day also will, be on that line. So I think it helps.
Yeah,
mostly.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you also felt something like that. There were
Absolutely.
days where you missed it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, of course, you don't want to miss, but there are days when you don't feel like it, but you push through. There are days in which body is telling, you can't or you should not. So I have listened to the body at times and taken a day off.
Nice. Moving on, after SportzConsult, you are working with Corcom. Want to touch upon that? What is it and what are your roles?
Yeah, well, we are trying to build few properties, in Middle East. We were able to secure the sponsorship for IPL. We got Visit Saudi on board for IPL, and we executed the entire activation program for Visit Saudi as well. It was very successful last year, and I hope they will continue that program this year as well. But the entire experience of getting Visit Saudi brand on board with IPL, creating engagement programs, on air, activations, on ground activations. We were part of the team that designed the entire piece and then executed that entire piece on ground. So it was a fantastic experience overall. Quite different from what I had done in the past. Which was mainly around amateur and on-ground activations. We did a lot of programs, but this was a very different experience where it was a sponsorships, securing and management at in one of the largest sporting properties of the world.
What are the differences?
Well, differences would be, obviously on ground it is about when we do programs like Coca-Cola Cup, Reliance Foundation Youth Sport Program. There the objectives are around engagement. It's the authentic connect on ground, which is a key factor when the brands are considering to engage with the customers using experiential sports marketing. When it comes to a huge platform like IPL, brands are looking for visibility. Because the IPL reaches so many, it is on such a huge scale. It reaches so many people with on air, right? So that is the primary brand objective, especially in case of Visit Saudi. It was the visibility that they wanted to create. Brand awareness was an important part. Reinforcement of the brand, by using such a platform. That's not So there are key objective differences, business objective differences when it comes to choosing a amateur sports program versus a on-air television-led property like an IPL.
And what did they gain out of it? What was the outcome?
Well, obviously, the awareness levels were very increased. About the Saudi. They wanted to display some of the new programs, new sorry. They wanted to display some of their tourist spots, and that was the kind of awareness that they were able to generate through this program.
And I'm sure they must have gained a lot of traction.
Yes, I'm not in a position to disclose that, but I'm sure
In general,
they
because
would have gained a lot of traction in terms of the new visitors visiting because of the awareness being created here.
and we've read across media portals that people are more open to visiting Saudi Arabia, Middle Eastern region after the exposure and everything. I think that would have been their objective. I think they have ticked the box.
Yes.
And moving on, sir, what do you think are the key initiatives that needs to be taken in order to make India a sporty nation?
Okay, so Sporty Nation, let's first define what is Sporty Nation, right? We might win gold medals, but that doesn't necessarily mean we are that. For example, we won medals in shooting, but we are not we are not a shooting nation, right? Shooting is not our primary sport or biggest sport. uh, any sport which has a lot of participation, which has a lot of fans, when we have a lot of mass participation and a lot of fans, only then we will raise to a sporty nation. Now, to me, I believe that if India were to become a sporty nation, then getting masses to participate in sports is very critical. Yeah. So mass participation is a critical factor in my view, if we were to become a sporty nation. And mass participation can happen. There are 3, 4 things that needs to fall in place. Um, we need lots and lots of maidans and play areas rather than stadiums, so that people can just go out and play. So bigger, more than stadiums, we need maidans, kind of playgrounds for kids to just go out and play. Proximity of that is very important. You can't have a kid going for 10 kilometers, right? It has to be within a kilometer. A lot of maidans should be there for kids to go out and play. So that's one. So places for play is important. The time that a kid gets to play is very critical. Just one PT period is not enough. Maybe we should have more. They should have time, and it will require a lot of parents' involvement as well to ensure that they get a larger time to play. So place, time, then a lot of competitions are required. Because only when kid plays competitively is when he increases, the interest increases, and therefore it's a cyclical effect that they will play more, compete more, get better at it, or want to get better at it. So competitions, you can't have one competition. If I'm let's say a football player, and if I have only one tournament to play in a year, that's not going to suffice. You need to have competitions that are going on for at least 7 to 8 months in a year, where you get to play in multiple tournaments and multiple competitive games. So that's when the whole interest around improving and playing more happens. Then another factor which I believe is also having coaches at the grassroots level. you know you can't have only at the top level. Of course, top level leagues are important because they create heroes and that inspires youngsters to play. But coaches at the grassroots level is absolutely critical, because then the kid, when they improve, they learn the technique, right? Technique is everything, and especially with the triathlon training, I found that swimming, technique is important. So the coaches at that grassroots level, if they are able to instill the right technique at the right age, the chances are that more kids will play more and enjoy more and play right. So if so, that's why, and all these are critical pillars for mass participation and therefore becoming a sporting nation. And if we are able to do that across multiple sports, I think we will eventually become a sporting nation.
Do you think we are going in that direction?
I think yes. I think a lot of parents are now realize the importance of sports, and kids are enjoying whenever the new construction that is happening. We see a lot of focus being given to sports as well. So yeah, it's not as fast as I would have liked it to, but at least it's moving in the right direction for sure. And government is also doing a lot of programs to ensure that masses are playing, and sports is becoming a lifestyle for us Indians.
And what are the trends that you have seen in emerging markets?
Well, yeah, definitely people are a lot more aware of wellness, and being fit. Fitness is something which I think is growing across India, across even tier 2, tier 3 cities. There is a lot of emphasis on fitness, and therefore you're seeing the fallout of that is you're seeing a lot of running events happening now. Every city pretty much boasts of multiple marathons. People are running. People are wanting to make sport as a part of their lifestyle, and we're seeing that in tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. So it's very encouraging to see that the sports is seeping down, and a lot more mass participation is happening across the tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. Also, sir, what one trend that I've observed is it is important to create idols. So
Yeah.
what I have seen is we've grown up watching Sachin Tendulkar. He's the person that has led the entire generation of cricketers. Now they are performing at that level. I think we are seeing that trends across sport. We have Neeraj Chopra, we have Rohan Bopanna, people who are emerging apart from cricket. And what that has leveraged is, okay, if a parent is, ठीक है मेरा बेटा ये कर सकता है, he can become an athlete, he can become a track and field player, he can pick up football, he can play table tennis. So there is scope, and there are these emerging trends that if we create idols across across sports, then people will have somebody to look up to, and then it can help. Yeah, it's chicken and egg, right?
Yeah.
So unless we have the pyramid base very large, we will not go very high, right? If you look at cricket, what happened in 70s, 80s, it was masses participated, and there were so many people playing cricket that today we are able to create someone like Sachin Tendulkar. So the more participation base increases, I think we will have a lot more sporting heroes at the top. Take the example of badminton. We have so many good players coming up, and then on the top we have someone like Gopichand, who is creating massive sports heroes for us. So yeah, so we need heroes to get a lot of kids to take up the sport, but at the same time, I believe stuff that I mentioned in terms of mass participation, if we are able to do that at the grassroots level, and that's where you know communities, schools, parents play a huge role in ensuring that we have a wider base when it comes to a lot of kids participating in sports.
And I completely agree with you on this grassroots thing. I think previously on our other episodes also we have spoken on this point that grassroots is the sector to disrupt, because I think at the top level we have seen what output we can get, but I think it's working on the bottom of the pyramid, creating a pipeline of players and athletes. I think that is the thing that we should work on, and there is this massive scope that people can, even organization can come in place, and they can execute and get something out of it.
Yeah, because for the at the top level, for the leagues to sustain, we need fan base, and the fans will come only if they have. Chances are, if I have played that sport, I'll be a fan. Some organization had done a research where they said that there is a 68% chance of you becoming a fan of that sport if you have played that sport as a child. Okay. So imagine that kind of conversion. If I have played a sport, so the huge number of people playing, then suddenly you have fan base. Then people will go out to the stadium and watch. They will follow on television. Otherwise, the leagues will not be able to sustain themselves. It will just be a spiral downwards. So to ensure that we are investing in those leagues. It has not yet become profitable. A lot of leagues, apart from one or two. The rest of them are still struggling in terms of becoming profitable because the fan base is just not there. Hopefully, as the mass participation increases, the fan base will increase, and then it will be a self-sustaining thing at the top.
So, sir, I wanted to touch upon what are the leadership lessons you've learned across your experience.
Well, being a sports company, a lot of my leadership lessons have been through sport and also through this entire journey. Of course, the primary one comes is the team. You want to make sure that you are taking care of your team. You are helping and you are enjoying their success. You are helping them grow. Making sure that their individual goals are aligned with what the company goals are. It's vice versa, but also making sure that you are working with each individual in the team. Right from the top manager to the lowest ranked person in the organization, to ensure that his aspirations, his goals are aligned with what company is trying to do. That's the number one thing. To make sure that creating an atmosphere in the office which is lively, fun, because there's already a tremendous stress doing an event or doing a meeting a customer's needs outside of the office. You don't want the pressure and the stress to be inside of the office too. To ensure that have that great atmosphere within the organization. That's one of the key roles of the leader, is what I learned, and I try to implement that in our companies. And that was one part. And then other is ability to handle failures or manage failures, right? Especially when you're a startup and you're trying to innovate products, you're trying to meet develop ideas which are going to help customers. You're going to fail at times. One, your ability to offer to the team that it's okay to fail. You have the complete freedom to try and fail, no problem. But if you are afraid of failing, if you, as a leader, I create an atmosphere where my team is afraid of failing, then innovation will not happen. You will not get great ideas. You will not get new ideas to experiment and build it. Right. So it's okay to fail. Going to the other end, if the failure has happened, right, ability to embrace failure. Okay, it's okay. Now we have failed. What is it that we have learned? And then move on. So those are the second. That is the second important thing that I learned with both my sports and through sports and being in the leadership position in the company. Apart from this, handling risk and the team's quality around overcoming obstacles, I learned that the quality of grit is far more greater than talent itself. So, how do we create an atmosphere where, this kind of qualities are built and, built over time? So these are the three, four areas in which I think, while there are so many other parts, but these are the top three things that I would say I learned over my journey.
And what is one feedback or advice that you want to give to young sports entrepreneurs who are coming into the scenes?
Uh, I would say, start with a purpose for any young entrepreneur. If your purpose of why you are starting this business, is that something which is, it the solving that problem excites you, and you're closely, concerned about the problem. If that is there, the purpose is very clear and it is very close to your heart. I think that's where you need to, that should be the starting point, and then build the business model around that. Because if that is not there, the chances are that at the first few obstacles, and you will 100% face those obstacles, you will you will tend to quit. And I've seen a lot of young entrepreneurs start and quit, because the core problem that they are trying to solve through their organization or their idea is not something which they are passionate about. If you are passionate about it and you want to solve that problem, you will create a business model around it, and you will be okay with earning lesser money as well. You might not earn the way you would want or dream of, but the whole satisfaction of creating something which is solving a problem will help you in the whole entrepreneurial journey. You'll enjoy the whole process itself and not wait for the destination, because sometimes it takes decades to build a company. We have been at it for now 2 decades. So, so that's what I would advise to young entrepreneurs.
And what do you think are the areas of employment in the sports industry? I'm sure our viewers are aspirants who are looking to join the sports industry and they're trying to figure out okay, what are the areas that I can contribute at and how can I do that?
Yeah. So first would be, find your own intersection. So what I mean by intersection is, you have chosen sports, that's fantastic, but there is other circle which is around, whether you are interested in marketing, whether you're interested in production, whether you're interested in sales, whether you're interested in technology. So there are, the sports in itself has so many different segments. So figure out, and first few years take massive risks in terms of identifying what are you passionate about. It's okay that I tried this, didn't work out, it's okay, but that's the time to experiment and figure out which of these areas around marketing, sales, like I mentioned, which is that you're passionate about. And the third important component is whether you like the area of creating great sports experiences, whether you like talent development, whether you like whether you are working with an NGO. What is the in sports, what is the area you like? Is it talent development? Is it entertainment? Is it sports experiences? Once these are the three axes around which you will find jobs, right? And first step is to figure out what is it that you are passionate about, because opportunities are multifold. Then opportunities are there in, companies, sports events companies, that is which are working with the grassroots and the, at the amateur levels, companies like SportsConsult. There are many such companies who are trying to build sports events, working with brands and building sporting events. So there's a lot of opportunities there. Then there are sports academies. Every pin code has boasts of so many sports academies. There's a lot of opportunities there. You need not be a coach. Obviously, if you're a coach, then there is a direct opportunity. But even if you're not a coach, but you're passionate about training kids, they are looking for people who are good at setting up the whole small businesses around coaching. So there is a lot of opportunities there in terms of sales, marketing. There are a lot of opportunities there. Then there are companies, sports education companies, which are trying to do a lot of work with schools. So there is again a lot of opportunities there. Then there are a lot of run events happening, sports events companies which are focusing on doing runs and other sporting events. Definitely, there's huge opportunities there. Then coming on the professional sides, you have companies like Group M, you have companies like Star Sports, which are trying to broadcast, get sports marketing, get sponsorships. So there are a lot of areas, companies that are focused on getting sponsorships, broadcasting, television, sports production companies like Sportsworks, companies. So there are a lot of opportunities in that area. Working with the leagues itself, leagues and franchises, they are looking for a lot of young professionals who can help in running the show. You know, whether it is on ground management, whether it is ticketing, food and beverage for the ground. So there are a lot of these kind of areas in which there are a lot of professionals required. Government is employing a lot of people. Orissa, UP now, they are taking a lot of sports initiatives for which they are looking for young professionals who can manage them. We are finding that a lot of good quality jobs are being offered with government, and youngsters can definitely explore that opportunity as well. So these are the broad areas in which opportunities are there. Currently, you know, India is at about 1.1 or around that number percent of GDP is being spent on sports. Evolved countries spend about 3 to 5%. So there is a huge growth that we expect over next few decades, and it's a lot of opportunities will be there. Just figure out your intersection, what excites you, what you are passionate about, and the companies and the areas that I mentioned will have a lot of jobs to offer. Right? Fantastic.
So what do you think is the difference in sports in India when it comes to cricket versus rest of the sports? What is your point of view on that?
Well, like I mentioned, cricket. We just look at IPL, but really, if you look at it, it has evolved because there was mass participation in cricket, and the starting point was mass participation, and that led to uh, high quality, world class players being created because of the mass participation, and the quality just kept on improving. And of course, the turning point was 1983 when we won the World Cup. It just you know created one more big event for kids to take up that sport. And since it has grown leaps and bounds, and the federation, the BCCI, has done phenomenally when in terms of creating the structure and a pathway for any young kid to go all the way to the top. And then there are opportunities along the way. you know IPL is just a recent 2008 it started. It's a recent thing, but it has just given one more huge platform for young cricketers to as to see that there are a lot of more opportunities now as opposed to one Indian cricket team. So so my view is that there was a lot of hard work being done to get more and more people to play. Coaches were there, a lot of competition was there, you know grounds were available for kids to play cricket, you know and because all this happened, mass participation happened, lot of players played, a lot of fans were created, and therefore the league at the top also benefited from the huge fan base for cricket. Now now we need a similar thing in other sports as well. We need fans, we need high quality players for any sport to succeed. And it can happen through what I just mentioned. And my belief is that mass participation is the way to go there as well. And if we are able to do that, and it's easier said than done. It will take huge investment, huge vision, and the custodians of the sport, the respective sports association, to lay down that vision and get the whole ecosystem to support that. We are seeing that happening partly in a few other sports already. Kabaddi, it's happening. We are seeing that it's been propagated in schools now. High-end schools also have a team now, and slowly that's happening, and that's mass participation is being done at all types of cities when it comes to kabaddi. Similarly, badminton, it's happening. So other sports are doing it, and I'm sure over a period of time that will reach to, if not cricket level, at least some level where the leagues are profitable.
But what we need to do is work towards making the pie bigger so that others can also get accommodated in that.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so we've covered all the serious and questions that we need to focus on. Now we take a step back, and I want to touch upon your lighter moments. I think across your experience, there are incidents or cases which are on a lighter note, on a funnier note. Do you want to share that?
Okay, couple of them come to mind. One is, way back in 2003 when I came back from US to start the sports company, and we were, my mother and my father were really upset कि क्या कर रहा है बंदा, सब ये सब करके now he's coming back to start a company in sports. And then I was trying to explain my mother, what all we are trying to do in terms of helping kids to learn sport and all that stuff. So my mother, being a teacher, once one of the uncles came, my mother was trying to explain to him what he's trying to do. हाँ कुछ तो कर रहा है, coach है ऐसा बोला. So he was like, okay. And then I tried to explain to him. And that time sports was nothing, right? I mean, 2003, it was not as huge as it is today. And especially career in sports. So he just listened to me patiently and then patted on my back and say, "Beta, ये सब तो ठीक है, full time क्या करते हो?" Then no, uncle, this is my full time job. So yeah, so it has come a long way from what it was in 2003. Another thing, very recently, we were organizing a run, and we were going out to get sponsorships and all that stuff. So it was for the run. We had approached one of the local hotel brand, and we said run हो रहा है and all that stuff. तो तुमको क्या चाहिए? बोला ऐसा कि we are offering beverages and all that stuff. So कितने runners? बोला 1000. तुमको क्या चाहिए? बोला sir 1200 boxes should be good. And then then we said okay, we are done. We were so happy. Food is done. This is done.
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff. Then we just 1 day before the event, 2 days before the event, we just wanted to confirm. So I called him up and I asked him, sir, बॉक्स के अंदर क्या क्या होगा, खाने के लिए, what are the things you are going to provide? He was like, अरे हमारी बात तो 1200 बॉक्सेस की हुई थी, उसके अंदर खाना भी चाहिए. So like my heart sank. Oh God, no, it's when I say 1200 boxes, I meant that you will give some kind of refreshment to each others. Okay, मैं कुछ करता हूँ. He eventually gave us, but at that point it was my heart sank thinking that why would he think that we are wanting only empty boxes? So
Yeah, funny incident. And the first problem of yours still exists with me. Even my parents right now, when somebody asks क्या कर रहा है, sports में कुछ तो कर रहा है, खिलाता है, हाँ वही करता है. My parents, both my mom and dad, are still, they cannot conceive the fact that there is an entire vertical called sports industry and I'm contributing there. उनका तो same है because the concepts are not there and people also are figuring out what is sport. When you say कि sports में कुछ करना, अच्छा coach है.
coach है.
coach है, अच्छा coach है. नहीं. Then we have to take a 5 minute gap, explain कि this is what I'm doing. अच्छा ठीक है. Nice.
Yeah.
Sir, we move on to the final round, which is the rapid fire round. Are you ready for it?
Okay, let's go.
One word to describe your journey in the sports industry.
Exciting.
What is your favorite sports documentary?
Last Dance.
Nice. Even in the name says read that. Your go-to sports app or website for the latest update?
Mainly Cricket Info. Otherwise, for other sports general websites.
One book that has had a significant impact on your professional life?
Lee Iacocca.
Okay. If you could switch careers for a day, what would you choose?
For one day,
Yeah.
I would become a professional sports person.
Okay, that you are now.
I'm a professional administrator. On the business side, I would want to spend one day as a professional player.
Okay. What's your proudest professional achievement so far?
We did this self-defense program for more than 2.5 lakh kids, girls.
Okay.
Self-defense program for government of Gujarat, and it has had a massive impact on ground. So that's one of the proudest achievements for sure. And obviously, creating an organization which is getting more and more kids to play.
One word to describe the future of sports in India?
Huge potential.
If you could have dinner with any sports industry figure, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Kobe Bryant. Yes, I want to get into his mentality to know more.
What's the most memorable sporting event you've attended in person?
2011 World Cup final.
Yeah, nice. Also, you could have said the last year the presentation ceremony one.
No. There I was just giving an award, but here I was watching India win.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Nothing can beat that. What's your favorite sports-related book? Why would you recommend it?
Book by Gopi Chand, his life autobiography. So many things to learn from his life journey. I would highly recommend it to everyone.
If you could bring any retired athlete out of retirement for one last game, who would it be and why?
Okay, I would get Sehwag.
Acha.
And watch him destroy the current bowlers.
Nice. If you weren't involved in the sports industry, what career path would have you chosen?
I think I would have continued with my journey of technology consulting, and then use the part-time, the time after that to pursue my passion in sports.
Mouth organ also, you play mouth organ?
Yeah, I play few instruments. I play tabla, I play mouth organ, I play keyboard, just as a hobby.
I think we've reached to the final question. One advice that you have received which helped you professionally?
One advice was, I think I mentioned also that whatever you're starting, think about the purpose, why you're doing it, the purpose behind it. If that is strong, it will help you sail through the ups and downs of that journey. And it could be for anything. It could be for starting a company, taking up a new initiative, you're pursuing your hobby. If the purpose is clear, then your ability to handle the ups and downs and enjoying the journey itself would be very nice. So that's one advice that I received, which I love.
And one advice you want to give to somebody who's coming up?
I would say don't wait for the motivation. Just act on it, and the micro successes that happens on a daily basis, every time you act on whatever you are pursuing, that itself will become a motivation. That's how the motivation works. I have learned it very late in life, but that's what I would advise to any young guys.
Great. I think it has been an amazing time doing this episode. We had you touching upon your experience with SportsConsult, Corcom, and other potential aspects in which sports can grow. I think we've covered the sports industry as a whole, and we've come to an end. That is it from our side. Hit the like button and the subscribe button, and keep watching Beyond the Field. Thank you.